fish. Do you want to hear my fish story?
Sure.
One of my colleagues, one of my team, my therapy team in the UK, I did a regression with her when she was working on a phobia of deep, dark water. And she went back into a past life in which she was a fish that was just caught by a fisherman and thrown onto the boat at the deck of the boat.
She was a fish.
She was a fish. And as she was caught and thrown to the deck of the boat, and again she was writhing and crying and moving around, and then she was just left to die. And the trauma was not the death, although she looked as if it was traumatic because she was thrashing around. The trauma was that she was worthless in the eyes of this fisherman. He just threw her on the deck and left her to die. And that was the trauma. So we went back into that. In fact, on my YouTube channel, Hypno for All, we've actually videoed past life sessions, live regressions with her. And we went back into that again a second time. And in this second session, she actually, as she was dying, the fisherman's young son was standing there on the boat, and he was full of compassion for her as she was dying. And that was the healing. That actually healed, that this little boy had some compassion for her as she was healing. And children do have this natural compassion for animals, of course.
Wow, that's so amazing. I'm thinking, you know, insects and all that, and ants that I'm constantly stepping on when I'm jogging, you know, like, oh, we kill all the time.
Well, there's a sect which I think was similar to a Buddhist sect called the Jains, and they believe we shouldn't kill anything. They actually, where they're walking, they will always watch where they're walking. If they're laid on a night on the floor in asleep, they train themselves to wake up, and before they turn over, they brush the floor to make sure there's no insects there before they turn over. Oh. So I was a Buddhist for many years, deeply into Buddhism, and we used to be taught mantras. So there's a mantra that you can say, which I sometimes say if I'm driving in the car and I can see things that, you know, moths being killed and insects.
Right.
And so I just say the mantra from my heart, which is a form of apology, really.
That's beautiful. I really like Avatar, you know, when they are doing the kill, they do it in such an honorable way.
Yes.
And I wish we could do that in our world.
I mean, I before I eat any meat, I go through a little ritual for it where I apologize to it. I thank it for giving its life for me, and I say some mantras for it. And that's just a habit I've got into every meal now.
That's beautiful and inspiring. Is there anything you want to add about past life regression that you feel is very crucial to get across?
I think the evidence of past life is very real if people would really look at it and research it. And although most of my work is about releasing trauma and healing, I've had some clients over the years who have been in past lives where at the end, during the session, they have come up with information which they would not know in any way, shape or form unless they'd been in that past life. Another story? Have we got time?
Yeah.